What a glorious day in Columbus, Ohio, and a perfect Monday to be back at Roosters in the Horseshoe Lounge. It's a fun, casual joint. It's Justin Zwick, Bobby Carpenter, Nicole Cox. I'm Austin Ward. We're all back together.
Hey.
It feels
been
good.
A couple weeks.
It's been I don't know, we haven't been together all month.
It's been too long.
You were out with me. I was out 2 weeks in a row, yeah. I mean,
we had
Super
1
Bowl
week.
Weekend
We didn't even get to come to Roosters on a Monday.
Jeez.
We were all scattered about.
Well, we wanted Berm to have a good vacation.
Well,
he deserved
It
it.
was all about Berm.
Does he deserve it?
Yes, he deserves it.
He deserved it. But you two can sort that out later. But the rest of you, we're all on the Buckeye Cruise for cancer last week. Had some big events. Roosters throwing it out there. But Nicole, I understand that it might have got off to a rough start for you.
So let's first say, though, they raised over $4.4 million. I mean, I don't know how they do it. You know, every year it's the best cruise yet, you know, and you're like, there's no way they can top it. Like, it's so great. And then they do. It's just
because the standard is the standard. There you go.
You have to meet it.
Yep.
Even if you lose CJ Stroud.
I've got some thoughts on that, guys. On that. And we'll talk about it, you know, on another show.
Get the white legal pad out. I like that.
These are my notes of just to get through the day. But
you don't want to get into the standard? Is the standard right now?
It'll take a whole show.
Oh, okay.
I've been collecting notes for months on my
goodness.
thoughts and processes.
I'm scared now.
Yeah.
Boy.
Well, you should be.
Well, next Monday is going to be the
be.
spring ball preview because we'll be on spring camp eve, so that can't be the standard as the standard show. So
okay.
I don't know.
We'll find one.
You tell me when we're scheduling.
We've got a lot of Mondays before football starts.
Some of those Mondays in June, July.
Yeah.
That might be a good
plan
time.
on around then.
All right, we'll pick that.
I think that's good.
Okay.
But we did have an exciting experience this year, right before the cruise started.
An exciting experience.
Yeah,
I don't think she was calling it an exciting experience.
An opportunity for growth.
Yes.
Let's just say, in the moment you feel like you are going to have a heart attack, then you know you're going to be able to laugh about it later. But you don't know that until it's actually solved.
I mean, listen, you don't get to have a great fourth down conversion percentage unless you're going for it on fourth down.
Okay. I can agree with that. I can. So a huge shout out to Joel, who has worked for the company. He's been here longer than me. I want to say he's 25 years. He comes on the boat with us, the ship, and he cooks all the wings for our wing tasting. So we have to get all this paperwork for him to be able to be in their kitchen. You know, it's a huge process, but he does such a great job because that's what makes our wings special, the way we cut the chicken, our breading. So luckily, we are able to take our breading, our oil, all of that with us. The only thing we needed to be delivered was the fresh chicken. So
it's important.
It's a little.
Seems like you can't do the rest.
Pretty important. So
I saw some fresh chickens running around on Key West. We could have scooped a couple of those.
Yeah. Even though our wing tasting was the day before, or that could have been an option.
We could have postponed it. Yes.
That's how far Nicole is willing to go.
No, I like just all the backup plans.
Okay.
So Joel texts us. He's like, "Chicken is not here," and we're starting to get a little worried. Like, where is this? Oh, it was delivered to another cruise ship that took off and was floating around in the Grand Cayman. So
amazing.
I go, okay, worst case scenario, we'll just use the chicken on the boat and put our sauce on it and give gift cards to people because it's not technically our chicken. And I know a lot of people are doing it just for fun. And the wing sauce, hopefully.
No, they're doing it because they want Roosters.
I felt that way too. I was just trying to talk myself down. So Joel's like, nope. I'm going to make this happen. He takes two, Drama and G, the guys that help with the cruise. They're fantastic. They jump in a van. They go to Restaurant Depot and get the last 6 cases of chicken, which is the exact amount we needed. And the chicken was great. It wasn't from our actual farm that we get our chicken, but it was fresh, and that's the biggest thing. And we cut it a certain way. So, and he gets back on the boat with 15 minutes to spare. They fly through customs, like the check-in. I don't know how
buzz
they got
right by him.
I feel like that there might have been a situation of holding the passport and running through. No, I'm just kidding.
It's okay.
I got the chicken.
Yeah, in my mind, they literally got on the boat with 15 minutes to spare.
Wow.
And poor Joel, he was so stressed, but he made it happen. It was incredible.
Commitment to the process.
You got a standing O during the wing tasting.
That's all I wanted for him. I was like, everybody, we have to stand and cheer for him because it couldn't have happened without him.
No, and then he came up and whipped up some concoctions.
Oh yeah,
with the
some off menu sauces.
Yeah,
Ooh, okay. He had a skull. He had a skull that said he didn't have a name on the website. It was just the hottest thing that they had.
Yeah.
on this page.
It was
for him to
actually
buy.
the skull of the last person that had that
It may
sauce.
have been.
They
It came with
sealed
a
it-
warning.
sealed it up.
Do not eat too much of this. And that was the last one. But they had some
How
really
much
cool.
is too much?
No one knows. Serving size?
hey.
Question mark.
It's part of the
Eat
show.
at your own risk.
Yeah, it's part of the show just to spice it up, I guess you could say, and with some entertainment. Joel got picked up sauces from the Bahamas, Key West, Grand Turk, so that all the places
You got
we
like
were
all
going,
the hottest ones from the places
and
we were going. And got
it
the
was comical.
Neat. Yeah.
It
Oh.
was comical.
A one-off.
So what did we have? We had medium. We had Carolina Gold.
And we
Hot
had
Donkey.
and
donkey
then one
Korean
more.
barbecue.
Korean
Korean
barbecue.
barbecue.
Yeah,
Which
so
is
those
so
were the
good.
4 Roosters
Everybody
originals.
got.
Escalating from there.
And then he got in the lab back there and starts mixing up some
bowl
other
of
stuff.
chicken and just mixing it all
Oh.
together, and then we'd have a couple guys go up, and each guy got to try 2 if they wanted to.
If they wanted.
I tried one. I sat down for the second one because Joel said it was
Because
hot.
you're smart. We're the older.
Well, Joel
Oh.
looked at me and was like, "This one's hot," and so I said, "I'm going to sit back down and let the young guys take
It was
this."
great. I think all the guys. I mean, I know Jack had some of them. And
I feel like
so
everybody
there-
was up there. Had
Donovan Jackson was
Yeah.
sweating so profusely
Oh.
his shirt came
But
off.
he was a
shirt
team player.
came-
Yeah. Oh, he loved it. I mean, he wasn't.
Oh no,
He was
he was
amazing.
the first one to go, and then he
Yeah.
was the first one to like die in his chair, just like
Yeah.
woo.
But he
All right.
tried it again. Even after that, he
Yeah.
tried another hot one after he cooled down.
After he cooled down.
Don't worry, we brought milk, Pepto-Bismol.
Yeah.
We were making sure we had all the things for everybody.
Yeah, it was pretty cool though.
It was rough.
Are we allowed to talk about the other stuff?
Like
About
Denzel or
No, the 2 different.
well, we might be having some sauces come on to
Ooh,
our menu.
yeah.
Oh, come on! Here we go. Sorry
yeah.
if I threw that on you. I just was, I didn't know. I
Just
didn't want to say anything.
Broke some news on the cruise
It
ship?
what there were we were
There
really
was some news on the
my.
cruise ship.
Oh,
my.
the mango habanero.
Yeah, mango
That was good. I
habanero.
remembered that. Yeah.
So
That was good. The other one
good.
was the
And then Parmesan garlic.
Yeah, Parmesan garlic.
So
Little
those
cheese freaking
are
I do love that one.
those are coming soon,
Hey,
and we're very
hey.
excited.
Oh
Let's
my
go.
Gosh. Wow.
And they
about
might
Well, you
just-
didn't hear it here first.
No,
heard it
you
here
had to be on the
second.
boat to hear
Yeah,
it first.
exactly. And I think they're just starting in our corporate locations, some of our corporate locations, but they should be coming along.
Yeah, so
soon.
they surprised us with that at the end of all of this, and it was amazing.
They were so good.
So good.
That's
So
elite.
good. Can't wait.
Bob, I understand there are 9 current Buckeyes on the ship this year.
Is that how many?
I want to say JT Tuimolo Al, Jack Sawyer, Denzel Burke,
Cody
Lathan
Simon.
Ransom, Cody Simon, Travion, Emeka, Avery, and did I say Lathan, Denzel?
Yeah, you said those.
I think it was just 8.
Okay.
I think it was 8. I think maybe
Are we forgetting someone?
Hancock was supposed to go and didn't. Maybe I was thinking he might. I believe that's all of them.
Okay.
I'm looking.
But
Donovan Jackson, did I say him?
you said Donovan. So that's
Okay.
When
So-
8 or 9.
that's a pretty good group of
It
current
was.
They
Yeah, I think
were-
last year was what 4 or 5 we had.
They had 4 last year.
in a pretty big change. Like they
So
get
Emeka is a back-to-back.
opportunities to do this. What did that mean for former Buckeyes to have some of the younger guys on there?
It was awesome because it was great to see how well they represented the program, like how just first of all quality human beings they are, but they were blown away by just the entirety of the experience. And I guess you can become, I don't want to use the term numb, but used to become status quo when you're there and you see it, like you see the numbers, and the passion that people have. And for these guys, they're like, oh my gosh, look at all this money these people are donating. Like they're so excited about this, just the energy and excitement of the ship. It was kind of overwhelming for them at first. And, they start to talk to different people, and it's a great time to network and meet with different people. And so they took a lot of those guys took full advantage of it. And, being over at the Woody today, talking to some of them about it, like they were super pumped about, I met this guy and that guy, and just, they were super kind, and, they're talking to me about this and different opportunities business wise in the future and different things out there. Like it really kind of, when you talk about the brotherhood, with the players and then getting to talk and meet with these guys generationally, there was that element of it. And then obviously the vast expanses of Buckeye Nation and what that means. And, people that, this guy lives here, but he watches this, and they do all the, like just all the different things that they pulled in. And so talking to some of the guys today, they were very excited about having gone on it. They were pumped for the experience. It was a great time. Same thing I kind of heard last year with the guys, and it was cool to kind of sit there and get to know them. And, whether you're playing blackjack up at the pool deck, I mean, they really fit in really well.
I was really impressed with them. I mean, even none of those guys really probably know who I am, but they all were.
Well, they all
once
watch
saw
the
me on
show.
stage, or
We're
if they've
getting
seen
older.
the show.
We're
But
the
yeah, we're getting
oldies.
older. Yes,
We're the
that's my
oldies.
point. But anytime I said something to one of them, or if around them, just seem like part of the brotherhood. I mean, it just seemed like, oh yeah, hey, yeah, okay, I remember seeing you last night or this or that, and I mean they were great with the people.
That creepy guy with the mustache.
Well, yeah, it was camouflage before,
Yeah.
or halfway through, is when I took it down. But it was really cool to see these guys, and I was listening to you guys talk when you did the juice or whatever you guys called it, but it's just like if you put us on that boat at 20 years old, 21 years old,
probably fall off the back.
it would not be. And so these guys being on there, handling themselves the way they did, and just being a part of the family, because I'm sure it has to be just mind blowing to them to come on and see like all of the old heads dealing with all these people on the boat who we just are like family. It's like, and I was by myself. It's like I bounced from this group because I know these people from Dayton. I know these people from Indian Lake. I know these people from Cleveland. It's like it's just a huge family, and it's like I don't even feel like I'm alone because I can just go and jump in with a conversation or sit down with people and talk, and that's really what it's turned into over. I've been 15 years, so it's it's been a long time. But to see these young kids kind of understand that and see that and take advantage of it, it was really cool. And it's always nice to have some fresh blood on the boat. I mean, they like guys like us, but when they see the young, the young pups,
it's fun.
So it's more fun for them, and it was just another great trip all around.
Nicole, which of the current players got your Buckeye leaf? Who was the most valuable player?
Oh gosh, they honestly they were all amazing.
So
they
good.
really were. They were. My favorite part is watching these kids, and I felt this way about Ryan Day because he went last year. It was his first year, and during the auction, watching their faces light up and really get into it and believe in it and believe in the cause, because like the guys were saying, it is a family. These are people we see every year. These are people we care about. We all, over the years, have learned to support one another on the boat and off the boat, too. And I don't know. I mean, even some of the players bid on some of the auction items, which to me, that just like melted my heart. I was like, these are such great kids. Like they wanted to contribute, And so it was very, very special. They were all amazing.
Bob, so there was a part-time strength coach on the boat.
Yeah, so it was amazing watching those guys interact because a lot of those guys, their knowledge of Schlags is him slamming that dude. And he was a strength coach, back in whatever.
Even if they remember it, that was 11 years ago.
It was.
So some of those guys might have been 9 years old.
Yeah, 9, 10, 11 years old. So that's
gosh.
their knowledge base of him. And then they've got to slowly, like he'd been around the weight room a little bit here and there, and he'd lift some when he was in town. But really, like they've got to know him over the last couple of weeks of him being in their training, and then to kind of experience this side of it and kind of see him and
the real Schlags,
and us running around and having a good time. Kind of like it's one thing to go watch a tiger in the zoo. It's another thing to go watch a tiger like in the wild.
Sure, yeah.
And this is kind of what that was. They got to see the tiger in the zoo, and so that's all great. But they're feeding him some cuts of meat that are out of the freezer to watch the tiger actually go hunt the meat and catch and slay the prey. Yes, like that was a little more entertaining, and they really loved it. I mean, just talking to seeing Cody Simon there this morning, and his legs is back at it in the weight room today. Let's go! Like his voice somehow. I mean, it didn't get.
He doesn't have one.
It doesn't get any. It didn't get any better over the boat. I'm like, you're not yelling at all this week. Why is it not getting any better? Because it's just scarred vocal cords. But they loved seeing that interaction, like telling stories from back when we were in school and the stuff that happened. And it's just such a foreign concept to them because, frankly, it was almost 20 years ago. Yeah. And so, like, these stories from 20 years past, like, that just kind of blows their mind of how the world was and what things could happen and maybe stay more under wraps than they would now.
Huh. I wonder what that could be. Was he leading some workouts for him? Like, how'd those guys?
I think those guys, they did a couple workouts in. I think Schlags.
I saw him up in the gym a couple times.
These guys are dedicated. They're getting after it.
And they came back to do some mat drills or something on Friday, didn't they? So it's like,
go right back into it.
Yeah, they were right back into it. So you had to
legs are still wobbling from being on the boat. Yeah.
Oh yeah, you still have that little deal.
I am a little bit still.
Only in the shower. It just feels like you're going still.
Yeah.
I worked out on the boat for the first time in 12 years on the treadmill. It was interesting.
It can be interesting.
When you're running, you hit the waves. Like
when you're
on vacation, Nicole.
I know. I just felt like I really need to get in, but it running on that treadmill with the boat moving.
Oh yeah.
I was like,
you could be an athlete.
I'm just going to hold on to the treadmill because I might go flying off of it because it would just like it's different. You're trying to go straight. It's just strange. It's a strange feeling. But
what did you take away from Ryan Day's appearance this year? I know last year you were really impressed and heard much.
He's such a great. His kids are on the boat too, and he always has his son. The last 2 years has asked his son RJ to get up and thank everybody for being there and to work on his public speaking. And that melts my heart.
Yeah.
You know how much I love that.
Oh, his girls were awesome running around.
They are just such an incredible family, and he was just as passionate about the cause, about the athletes being there. That the current. We love him being a part of it.
Did he eat some wing sauce or what?
He did eat some wings. He did eat some wings, and Coach Trestle was there too.
I'll tell you
and
this
he
funny
definitely
story
ate
about
some
Tress.
wings.
We're doing the wing eating contest, and you might have been on the mic. Somebody's asking about who likes this, who likes that, and Tress is standing over on the railing by himself.
He was.
He has his little box in his hands, and it's like, who likes boneless wings? Tress just throws his arm. It's just like. He's just trying to be a part of the gang,
So
Just like
But
he's standing there by himself. He's got a little thing. He's like
his Roosters polo shirt.
Yeah.
It's precious.
It was hilarious.
We had some of the great questions the world wanted to know. Boneless versus bone-in, drums versus
Flapper,
flappers.
yeah.
Like those are big, delineating points. That's how you can separate
You
society.
Judge people a little bit on their answers.
Oh, yeah.
It's strange.
More
You're like,
than a little bit.
I would have found you to like flappers over drums. I'm confused.
That's how you looked at me when I said I like Taylor Swift.
You know what? I'm working on that. I think about it all the time.
They didn't have these on
They
here.
did not have
the
these.
mini corn dogs. For those of you that have wood allergies and you can't get a large corn dog on a stick, you can get the mini corn dogs because they're delicious and they're fantastic. And they've got the mustard dipping
on the
sauce,
sides.
which is fantastic. And those will be $3 all day long on Tuesday. And appetizer Thursday at Roosters.
Also known as Appetizer Thursday. What else is going on at Roosters, Nicole?
Gosh, guys, it's
Do
just like
do people
February's
come
my
here
night.
for the March Madness?
Oh, that's getting ready.
Absolutely. So that's coming up. We have that. And then we start the 92.3 WCUL World Tour again on
early
March 8th
mornings.
at Hilliard.
Okay.
So that'll
coming
be from 5 a.m. until 10 a.m.
All right.
at Hilliard Roosters.
All
So
right.
it's exciting.
Let's go.
Stay
But-
tuned for that.
Yeah.
We'll talk about it again next week when we
Yes.
preview spring ball
Yes.
next Monday. So get ready for
So
that.
exciting. I can't believe it's already here.
I can't wait.
With the weather outside, it's spring. Let's go.
It's
play
spring.
some football.
Spring is here, and Nicole's going to go leave and get about the rest of her day. We're going to bring Berm in and talk a little bit more about
Still got
Ohio
work to
State.
catch up from being gone all
She's
week.
behind a week. That's why this
Yeah.
notebook is already full. She skipped to Thursday already. That's what it says over here. It's Monday, Nicole.
Lot of
You can get
things.
to that
It's
later.
fun.
All right, we're going to take a quick break. We'll be right back in here at the Horseshoe Lounge in Roosters, and it's a fun casual talk.
Roosters has been so fortunate. We just want to be able to give some of that back to the community.
They donate to organizations that are near and dear to their heart, and we're so fortunate to have been with Roosters now for a long time.
They will always go above and beyond to help support our foundation to further help veterans.
It's just a wonderful feeling to know that Roosters supports the Buckeye Cruise for Cancer.
All the folks at Roosters are just genuinely kind folks, and they want to make a difference.
Thank you, Roosters Foundation.
Thank you, Roosters.
Thank you, Roosters.
Thank you, Roosters Foundation.
Welcome back in to the live show. Berm is here.
Hey.
Magic Mike.
Let's be clear. No one deserves anything. Okay, I didn't deserve a vacation, but I took one.
We thought
And
you did.
No one.
Everyone
I don't
earns
believe-
vacation
yeah,
time, Berm.
Now, earning it is different than deserving it.
Well, you had done the work
I had earned it,
to earn it, which means that you deserve to take it.
but here's the bigger question:
Deserving ain't got nothing to do with it.
was the inspiration Doc Holliday or the Pringles man
Oh golly.
for the mustache?
I think it's just comedy. I don't think it's inspired by anything.
I don't think it was inspired. It was just kind of. I was going to grow the beard. I decided not to, and I trimmed the beard. And I said, I'm going to leave the mustache there.
Do you
Is it
own a
desired?
monocle?
I don't even know what that is.
That's
know, a
Mr.
monocle.
Peanut.
Oh no, I do not own one of those.
I think you should start wearing one attached to a pocket
Well,
watch.
I got to get it a little further out and curl.
Have you ever thought about getting mustache grease? Like,
No, I have wax,
okay, they're wax.
beard
yeah.
oil. I have oil, wax, and a little comb that I can comb it with.
Isn't that like
It's
one of
inter-
those mind tricks that like the Planner's Man and the Pringles Man don't actually wear a monocle?
I mean, one of them.
It's like the
certainly.
No.
Bar-
I
it's
thought it
like
was
the
peanut.
Berenstain.
The peanut had
Mr.
like,
Peanut. Mr. Peanut
had
wears a
one of those.
monocle.
Yeah.
I think that's one of the tricks of the mind that everyone remembers
Mandela
it incorrectly.
effect?
Is this like the?
I think it's a Mandela effect.
Next week, I'm going to find me one.
Well,
I'm
it's
gonna
like
have
the
it on.
Publishers Clearinghouse and
And the
what's
check
it?
and
Yeah.
Berenstein and Berenstain Bears.
Is it Baron? It's Berenstein Bears,
No, it's Berenstain Bears.
but it's EIN. I thought.
No, that's what you think it is, but that's the Mandela effect.
I
That's
was
not
always
correct.
under the impression.
Me too. And when somebody
they were part of the tribe.
and when somebody showed me a picture of a cover, I
Is
said,
that not true? The Berenstein Bears. I thought I
they're
was.
out. They're stains, not steens.
Stains on society because they've been forcing us all to lie to ourselves forever.
Oh,
We should talk about football.
I
Is this
inadvertently
like
steered us right into
Seth
Jay-Z's conspiracy
McLaughlin
corner.
versus Seth McLaughlin.
Hey, I asked him that one. It's Seth McLaughlin.
Tyrod versus Tarod.
I don't know the answer to that. I've never
that's
talked
the
to him. Seth McLaughlin is one of those more
Ryan versus is it Ryan?
Rain.
Brian.
Ray?
Brian. Berm, you wanted to talk about football.
I just think we should.
I agreed, and then I did something
Yeah.
that got us.
I
off track.
alone.
Yeah, that was on me. Let's think about this. We left. Was it Tuesday of last week? We got to hear from James Laurinaitis and Matt Guerreri. And the only thing that Bill, Berm, and myself could really think about after hearing those two position coaches specifically talk was, who's going to coach Sonny Styles?
I would venture a guess that I think with Caleb Downs coming here, that frees them up to maybe explore Sonny a linebacker. I mean, I don't know if anything's permanent or factually that's going to 100% occur, but I think that gives you the flexibility to explore those options during spring. Because if you're not going to explore it during spring,
you never will.
Now, granted, they threw Steele over there. And I don't think that really wasn't fair to him. Because like, hey, he's not playing very well. I'm like, yeah, you know what? He came up like a week into training camp, hadn't played linebacker since high school. So
Now,
you can imagine.
but here's the point to that, Bob. All of us said that was potentially in the works for Steele, and they didn't do it as early. Like they didn't give him the
Well, I
opportunity.
think there was some resistance from Steele.
Maybe
Steel
there-
resistance.
Steel resistance.
Yeah,
And
it's
I
hard
think,
to break.
I joke with him now about that because I was like, hey, dude, do you want to be like an average running back or a good linebacker? What are your thoughts? Or better than good? I mean, that's, the guy had an interception against Georgia in the college football semifinal.
It was like, do you want to get 10 carries a game, or do you want to play
Or zero?
He was probably never going to
or
get
that,
10.
or do you
Yeah.
want to play every snap on the defensive
And
side,
that's
or, you know?
where it is. Like, get invited to the combine.
Yeah.
Be
Do you
an
want
NFL draft
to?
pick.
Do you
Like,
want to keep fumbling, or do you want to pause
yeah,
fumble?
easy. Don't,
I'm just saying.
That took a turn.
I mean, I only say that because Steele himself said I was a running back who fumbled a lot. He knows why he wasn't going to stay there.
Fair.
I didn't come
Be
up with that on my
self-aware.
own.
You got to have some self-awareness.
I was like, think how good you would have been if you would have made this move. Like, you could have played it for a
Berm
year.
said it in high school and got yelled at.
I got blocked
You got
on
blocked?
Twitter, yeah.
Really?
nice.
Gosh, by Steele?
Yeah.
Man.
God, he's such a nice guy, though.
I think at that time,
Did he end up unblocking you?
It was
as
a point.
you
It was a
were
point of sensitivity.
That
it was a
account
point
he
of
eventually deleted
it
entirely.
was
and
a point of
started a new one.
sensitivity for sure. And I think that is the difference, though. With Sonny, it doesn't seem to be that he has any pushback against the idea if that's where his body takes him, and we all think that's where his body's going to take him. But how different does this conversation get when Caleb Downs transfers to Michigan?
I did hear that.
Is he going to transfer to
Oh,
Michigan
yeah, for
now?
sure.
We missed that last week. It was on the
Wait,
while we were
hold
the
on.
boat, I
So
saw
in
something.
the second window, he's
second
gonna,
window.
That's what the internet tells us, and
I
you
love
can
it.
only believe everything that the internet
I
says.
do.
Everything on the
Gosh.
internet is true.
Huh.
Yep. So that's a real loss.
Well, I guess we're going to have to wait and see what happens before
It
we
sucks.
decide where
Sucks that
Sonny
that
goes.
worked out that way.
Where these are Michigan boards?
internet conspiracy
The
firm.
internet is just absolutely the worst thing that's ever happened to society.
It's pretty amazing.
You're onto something.
And we always wanted to champion and give Al Gore credit for it. Maybe we should give him the blame.
Yeah.
You can't have it both ways.
Yeah, if you better own it.
You
You
can.
created the internet,
It's private
and
everywhere
from the
you go.
internet spawns social media. So you know what? You're responsible for message board, social media, the worst
Message
part.
board
Hey,
warriors.
you know what? You can go somewhere and talk to anyone and say anything without consequence. That sounds great. 5 years later, this is the worst thing that's ever happened.
Do you think, I mean, one of the things that I took away from last week is that there's no real conversation right now about any other safeties, right? Because there's Caleb Downs and there's Lathan Ransom, and now this 3-safety defense sort of feels like a 2-safety defense again because Jordan Hancock isn't a traditional safety. And he's
Well, because Jordan can kind of do a little of both. Like he is a safety, like he has the physical size to be a safety, but he can also have he also has the coverage skills to play corner. And I think Malik Hartford, he's recovering from shoulder, some shoulder stuff. But I think he'll be someone that will be in the mix, and I think there'll be some packages for him.
I mean, do you think that that's a position where the depth doesn't feel as important as it did a year ago because there are known
until somebody gets hurt.
Until somebody gets hurt. And then it's like, what do you do here? Because I don't think that you do yourselves or Sonny Styles any favors if you spend this entire spring.
No, if he's not going back. Once he's there, you can't. It's not even
weight on. You're going to be training differently. I mean, it's
that's
gonna be
not fair.
Ballgame, right?
That feels like it would be the natural response. Like, let's just move Sonny back.
I feel like
that can't happen.
Did that, didn't he? Didn't he go
was
from
playing corner.
DB to linebacker?
He went from corner, or hold up. He went from safety to linebacker to corner,
then back to
linebacker.
Yeah,
he's like, hey, snip, snap, snip, snap, snip, snap.
Very common path.
Oh yeah,
to playing time.
The corner to linebacker is a very smooth transition when they're like, hey, we're going to need you to cover this guy man to man. There was a 4-3.
That'd be wild.
Now be 240.
But I mean, if you're going to tell Sonny he's going to go play linebacker, I imagine he's going to put 20 pounds on this summer and beef up a little bit and be done.
You got Dustin Fox, Chris Gamble, and C. Grant playing corner. Like, what the hell is going on?
But I don't know that the conversation about 3-2 is like I don't think it's any different. Tanner McAllister, you wouldn't have watched him be like, well, he can go play any of the safety spots. Like he was built to play that nickel position, which Jim Knowles just views as more safety than corner. It helps them they have corner skills. Like Tanner McAllister probably would have had a much easier time going out and covering somebody down the field, a wide receiver on the perimeter, rather than if he had to go back and help against the run. Run primarily or play free safety, strong safety. Like, they've found someone in Jordan Hancock specifically who fits exactly what they're looking for.
Yeah, because he has position versatility. Like he can tackle like a safety. He's better in coverage than Tanner McAllister, and he's also bigger than Tanner McAllister. Like, if you can get guys that are both big and fast,
I think he's also better against the run
because he's bigger. He's a more physical player. Like I love Tanner McAllister. He was a willing tackler.
Absolutely.
But Jordan Hancock is taller. He is like a broader build. He is a guy that you're like, yeah, he could do a lot of things. Like he reminds me a lot of Malcolm Jenkins, but just faster.
When we talk about the 2 or 3, I mean, when you have those numbers that you have with the guys there that you can trust and feel good about, you mix it up and give some different looks this year.
You can never have enough.
You won on the field, in different situations.
You can never have enough defensive backs, especially guys that have like position versatility that can move around.
Who have been there for a couple of years and know what's going on, and you're going to be in the right spots.
I think that's why I look at this spring and what they decide to do with Sonny Styles as such an important decision, because if they want more positional versatility and flexibility, and that was sort of the way that James talked about it.
Yeah.
It's like we saw him do that. Well, if he plays in that extra spot, in that quote-unquote nickel, is what James said, like, is he a safety? Is he an overhang linebacker? Is he a Sam? Like, you don't know. Those reps, though, I think would have to come at the expense of Jordan Hancock, which is the part that I don't really like.
Jordan got a lot of reps, so he's played a lot of the position.
Once they got to the middle of the year, well, they did have injuries in November for one. That was part of it when Lathan was injured. But it was like once it got to October, it was like, Jordan Hancock is probably better suited to do this than Sonny.
But is there a fundamental reason Sonny can't play the will? And then you just have Sonny out
There's
there
no fundamental reason outside of it takes time to learn.
Right. So, I mean, when you look ahead at this defense, there's the question mark at linebacker, that's it. So does it make more sense to try to, if you're committing to moving Sonny to linebacker, do you not say, we got to try you at will because it's you and Cody, and then CJ and Gabe can be the backups, or if CJ is ready to take that step or Gabe's ready to take that step, then fine. But to take Jordan off the field to get Sonny on it seems like, at Austin's point, like a bad decision. When you can have them both on the field.
Yes, I mean 2 at the same time always better than 1 individually. A wise man.
You're talking about mac and cheese bite.
Absolutely.
I'm just kidding.
You could make yourself a mac and cheese bite sandwich with hot sauce as the filling.
No, you make a mac and cheese bite sandwich with a boneless wing in the middle of that.
He's always gone monogamous.
With the mac and cheese. I'm big into mac and cheese bite monogamy.
Flexibility is the key to air power. That is the Air Force motto. Anthony Schlegel dropped that on me again this weekend. Whenever I forget it,
he's there to remind you.
He's there to remind me. There's always someone there to remind me, and that someone is Mr. Anthony Schlegel. So the flexibility of that, yes. Could Sonny play some overhang stuff, kind of like what Cody Simon did when they would play Michigan, but then also rotate through? Yeah, I think you could have a situation like, all right, we work these guys, and ideally you want 3 guys to play 2 positions, so you're not asking these guys to just bang all the time, because you watch Tommy's playing with broken hands and Steele's banged up. I mean, you're going to need 3 guys. And so you're hoping that CJ or Gabe comes along to be able to play well enough. But I think you explore Sonny kind of a multitude. It's just a different look processing when you're closer to the line of scrimmage and you're tighter in the box. And so that's what he's going to have to get those reps of seeing things happen faster and being able to react quicker.
I feel like there's scars for Ohio State fans who think about, well, this is great. Baron Browning can play 6 different positions, and then never committing fully to one, or letting him play the amount of snaps that you expect him to have that impact. And it's like the NFL didn't have that problem. Like, this is what this guy does, and he's going to do it.
What do you do well? Just do a lot of that.
Yeah.
Do a lot of it. And I think some of it is with Sonny. They got to kind of figure that out a little bit because he's never played now.
But we're 3 years in right now. Right? I mean,
at
some point in time, we got to figure this out.
It's his third. This will be his third year.
Fair.
So this will be coming this spring.
I guess he's still redshirted, right?
He's still
he didn't redshirt. He skipped a senior high school.
Skipped a senior high
right.
school.
Yes, yeah,
He's not even 20 yet.
That's nuts.
Like, he's still a young guy, so he's going to develop and get better. You just have to get him reps at it. And so figuring it out, I think that I think he will be able to do it.
Yeah.
He just needs time to work at it.
He needs to know what he's going to be doing, and he needs to set a plan up for whatever that looks like.
Like, you can't be like, oh, we're going to do this for a whole month, and then all of a sudden,
let's keep you in the backfield for the first 2 weeks, and then we're going to move you down. Like, no, we got to do it.
Get him there, get him the reps, and even now they're doing some different position drills and stuff because just the footwork, there's just
Everything
different things.
It, yeah.
Yes, it's like,
on blockers coming down.
Tell the quarterback, hey, you know what? We're 85% gun, and then all of a sudden, you know what? Actually, we're going to be 85% under center, heavy play action. Well, I haven't really worked on any of this footwork. Like, it's just different footwork, it's different drills. So I think they're starting to integrate some of that and get him acclimated to that now. And then so when you see it, things feel a little more natural.
And last week, Austin and Bill and Doug and myself had a big debate about where Josh Fryer would start spring camp.
I don't know how skillful it was.
Will it be at right tackle or right guard?
Good question. I think he would maybe be a better guard than tackle.
We all said we predict he'll start at right guard. That's what we came around to. But he obviously played the entire season last year at right tackle. So,
and was like second team something, wasn't he?
And was voted by, I think, Big Ten coaches or something, second team All Big Ten. But it seems like there's this groundswell of logic to say he doesn't belong there. They need a better right tackle. Do you subscribe to that, Bob, as we are now 1 week away?
I think if they have a better right tackle, they play him at guard.
Yes.
Like, that's... I don't know if you just put him
do
there.
We have a better right tackle?
Well, you can find that out.
Yeah, does spring camp just give you the option to say we're going to see if we have one through these 15 practices?
Oh, yeah, because I think you can get him guard reps and then some tackle reps, too. It's not like this...
He played it all last year, so he knows what he's doing.
Does he need to even really participate in spring practice?
Well, if you're going to play him at guard, you do.
I mean, he played guard his first 3 years of his Ohio
State. I think either way,
Yeah.
he needs to be in percent.
You want to get, because here's the thing.
Or is it just because you want the 5 offensive line playing together?
Bingo. That's it. Because you need those guys
new quarterback, you want him to feel what's it going to be in front of him. Now, if they are going to move him to guard and they think they have a good answer at right tackle, then maybe you throw them up here in spring ball and see how that how that right tackle does with the new quarterback. You want that guy to just see what's going to be out there. You don't want to. It's no fun when you're playing quarterback with a mixed match line and nobody knows what they're doing, and it's just
it ain't no fun.
It ain't
the
no
homies
fun.
Can't have that.
Well,
there you go.
But if you're not the homie, you're the one that they're having. That might be a different piece.
It's a different story.
It's a different conversation. It does feel like Jay-Z having Will Howard coming in and wanting to install a new offense, teach him a new offense. Like Ohio State's Ryan Day and Chip Kelly are going to be teaching something that's a lot different than Kansas State overall. So Ohio State has made the choice.
I don't know. They said they're going to have a Wildcat package.
Well, they definitely will because they want to run this cat. But.
How many times do you think Will Howard has been told you're not in Kansas anymore in the 6 weeks that he's been on campus with the Buckeyes?
Oh, I don't know if I'm thinking about
Zero.
Mick or Schlags. I don't know.
I bet he's heard it.
Those guys, Mick and Schlags are cornball, so they would throw that out here.
Well, I think 0 teammates have used a line from a movie that came out 90 years ago.
Was it 90?
I think it came out like 1930, didn't it?
That's a good question.
It was definitely.
We're talking about The Wizard of Oz, correct?
Yes.
Okay, I'm just checking in.
Even Jay-Z's barely.
Hey, come
I remember
on.
that. I remember that one.
And he's got the mustache of the wizard.
The mustache had a wizard? Or the wizard had a mustache?
Yeah, the mustache did have a wizard on it. Which came first?
I watched
the chicken or the
Uncle
egg?
Fester cartoon last night, and I feel like I'm just going to let it grow and just kind of take over.
Is there any other position that you're looking at heading into next week that there's any even remote concern that they don't have it figured out heading into spring?
Well, concern versus intrigue. The wide receiver position is going to be interesting to see how they parcel those reps out and how that evolves during camp. Because if
Mecca doesn't need any, that helps.
that does, and he's good to go. Carnell Tate, how he develops, like how much does Brandon Ennis get in there?
Mm-hmm.
If J.J. Smith is as good as everybody says, I mean, okay, Berm.
Done.
Absolutist Berm.
You don't even have to watch him. He could sit out spring.
I've watched him
doesn't need any spring
Okay,
practice.
Doesn't need spring
here's the
practice.
thing. I'm going to be honest with you. I've seen him move. He is a good athlete. I've watched his film. Looks great.
So does Torrance Gibson.
There's going to be some great defensive backs that will be going against him here who have played really good receivers in college football. Most notably, the guy that'll probably be the first non-quarterback off the board. So I think that they're not going to be.
I'm not suggesting he doesn't need to practice.
No, but I'm just saying, like, how much?
Like, I didn't say that.
How do you figure out how to deploy these
just where we
guys?
took
What does
it.
that look like? Is Meck more in the slot this year? What is Brandon Ennis' role then? Carnell Tate looked really good last year. Does he take that step? Like, do you see him start to separate himself with Marv being gone?
What does Jaden Ballard do? Like, you know, how does Kojo Antwi and Keon Grays factor into this? Like, there are questions. But with Brandon and Carnell, like, this isn't install time, right? I mean, you're just going out there to see.
What is for Jeremiah, because he's never run anything, so everything's going to be installed to him.
100%.
Yeah, and that's the thing. Like, he can be really good, but I know that
playbook. Does he know where he's supposed to be? Does he know how to read that coverage to turn his route into this or that based off what it is?
Very few
all
high
that
school
stuff that goes into it.
I don't know. I mean, I haven't played high school wide receiver
I don't know.
in a number of years.
They have video. They have screens on the sidelines in high school.
I know. Believe
It's
my dad, they
insane.
have the whole deal. But it's like I don't know how like the complexity of the coverage and how many route conversions
Or
you're
they just
doing.
say, Jeremiah, you're a lot better than everybody else. Just go. And like, okay, well,
you can.
Well, Brian Hartline doesn't get down with that. If you can't be a
fair
complete
enough.
receiver, then that's why Jaden Ballard. They didn't say to Jaden, just go run deep.
Yeah.
Like, you can't get on the field.
And that's my point. Like, there's certain you have to be where you're supposed to be, or you screw up the whole picture. And so, I'm not saying that he can't do it. I'm saying he's probably never had to do it. So there is going to be a curve to see how fast he picks that up.
But my point, he is so gifted and so talented. He's going to get every opportunity to prove that he's going to get every
I
shot.
feel like we've been hearing that a lot in the last few years with these young receivers coming in and
It
wanting
seems
to
like
fill
it
them
normally
in.
pans out.
Well, yeah, I guess. We'll see what happens.
I mean, it's not a situation
Yeah,
where
I mean,
there's
we-
Chris Olave and Garrett Wilson
Yeah, fair enough, I
ahead
guess.
of him. I mean, Emeka Ibuka, they're not going to participate.
They're going to have to play this year.
much in the spring, and then you have no one else that's got enough reps to warrant, you know, this guy's for sure ahead of you. Carnell Tate will be, but everyone else is pretty much on the same foot.
I do think that's why there's maybe more intrigue for this spring at wide receiver than there has been in a
Just
while.
how
Because
it
we're going to
looks.
actually get to see who's going to be the guy.
There's two spots really up for grabs. Like, you think Tate has one of them, but
You would think so.
I mean, you have no idea. And then how do they work in? You know, I think as Ennis has
Because
looked
Brandon
really
and
good.
Emeka are somewhat similar.
Yeah.
And so it does, you know, if you don't know where Emeka's lining up most of the year, then it does change who the third guy is.
And the thing is, it's nice with Emeka is he's
Can't do both.
intelligent enough that you can slide him to all three spots, and so you can spell some of those guys, and he can be the one that's moving around, and so he gives you that flexibility, because flexibility is the key to air power.
There it is.
You haven't been on this show since we did the Buck 9 with Emeka.
What is Buck 9?
I saw that.
Did you
but
see
I
the
was not
ball
invited
speed?
to, or
Did you see the ball speed?
I don't remember the ball speed.
180 miles an hour.
What
He's
is
young. These
He
young
has
kids.
tour pro ball speed with his driver, over 180 miles an hour.
Wait, was he?
He It was
Looked like not a bad.
He was the
school.
baseball player in high school,
he
right?
played baseball.
Bro, watching him at the Cardinal softball game,
softball game.
just because he's not an overly large dude,
No,
breaking,
but
I was like,
he's breaking,
holy
yeah.
smokes! Like,
He's an athlete.
my goodness,
180. That's impressive.
He's
What
got
were they
s-
flying? Like 340?
off someone's
It was like
face.
carrying like 285, 290.
Yeah, they were
Honestly,
Really?
they were terrifying.
Yeah.
Take one in the chest.
I fortunately did not. I mean,
There'd have been fans out there.
364 days till next year's hockey tryouts. Gotta get tough. That would probably explode my body if that happened. But
Such
that
a
was fun.
skinny guy now. I mean,
Yeah. Oh, thank you, Bob. We're gonna have a lot more of those questions and previews next Monday when we get back in to the Horseshoe Lounge at Roosters. It'll be Spring Ball Eve, so we're gonna get fully
boy.
back into it. Excited to get some coverage rolling for that in March and April. It'll also be one day before Appetizer 3's Day. This week's
Mini corn dogs.
They're so delicious.
They're so yummy.
when you can get your mustard dipping sauce, as Bob calls it. That's different than mustard that goes on a sandwich, I guess.
Yep.
it's a little thicker.
Okay.
They do something.
The
to it here.
viscosity to it allows it to kind of hold together a little more, I think.
It looks
Yeah.
just like yellow mustard.
I don't know about that.
I'm not a
We'll have
mu-
to see.
I'm not
You
a
won't
mustard aficionado.
You won't dip.
My dad loves yellow mustard.
Does he? My dad probably does too. I
Just
do
yellow
not.
mustard.
Oh,
I think the consistency is different.
evaluate the
Look
viscosity.
at that. Look at the viscosity of that.
The
I don't know
reason
what
you
it's
think
supposed to be
mustard normally is less viscous is because you're in a
Squeezing
bottle.
I don't-
And so you're getting the propulsion.
I don't like where we're
Just
going when the
exploding
word
that on the
viscous gets thrown around, so we're going to wrap it up. Thanks to Nicole Cox and Roosters for having us in here on a glorious Monday. Thanks to Jay-Z, Bob, and Berm. I'm Austin. Next week is spring practice day number 1 in 8 days. I'll figure out the math. We'll be back in here next week. Thanks for joining us. Talk to you later.